Okay, now we must be recording.
Yep, we got it.
Okay, so you lead. Okay, this is Denver Broncos Mile High View. No commercials, no bullshit. We're doing a first Skype chat ever, and we were talking about Drew Lock. So these are two Bronco fans talking about Drew Lock. We'll just leave it at that. This man here has watched Drew Lock since he was in college. He's in Missouri, or was from Missouri at the time. And he was going to talk about Drew Lock. Let's get into Drew Lock, and we'll go into where we were going into.
So with Drew Lock is, sports talk radio has already given up on him, and everybody, from all those media outlets wants to take for Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance. And my biggest issue with all that is, you got to give Drew Lock time with this system. This is Pat Shurmur, former Giants head coach, that came in for a reason. And you brought in Mike Shula, who has been around the league for a very long time and knows how to work with quarterbacks. And I believe in Lock. I watched him his freshman year to his senior year at Missouri, and he has the traits to be a really good quarterback. And Peyton Manning and Steve Atwater on Denver Broncos TV, Peyton Manning said it the most perfect way that you can as a Denver Broncos fan. You got to give this offense time. You got to have this offense gel. That's what he said. He said nothing's going to come overnight. I mean, Peyton Manning his rookie year wasn't very good, wasn't the best, but over time he became a very good quarterback. I'm not saying Drew Lock's going to be Peyton Manning, but I believe Drew Lock could be a very good quarterback in this league. He has the traits, he has the mindset, and the one thing I love about Lock is the moment isn't too big for him. The moment is never too big for him. He's always having fun on the sidelines, and even when something bad happens, he always comes back like that, and he forgets it, and he moves on. And in a quarterback, you need that. You can't hold on to things, and you can't be like, oh, I threw an interception. Well, I guess that's the game. You can't work like that as a quarterback. And Drew Lock has that swagger that we haven't had here in a very long time. And that's the one thing I love about Lock is his confidence and his swagger.
Okay, and I'm going to put out a disclaimer. You already know this, is that when the Denver Broncos were contemplating Lock, I was like, no, not him, not him. But the guy turned me around. He turned me around because he's a student of the game. He proves that, it's almost like the Brady. He's willing to want to do everything he can. Let me put it this way: the arm isn't bigger than the head. That's the number one thing. The arm is not. That's what I learned. The arm was not bigger than the head. That alone turned me on to him. He says, "Look, I'm looking at the playbook in this, that. I'm all the little intangible things. I didn't care about what he was doing on the field so much at the time. It was what was going on up here." Now, we got Shurmur, and this seems to be a perfect fit. Shurmur and Lock, if they can just get time to get that to gel and not jump. I mean, like you see, we were just talking before the recording about the COVID thing and no OTAs, no training camp, no traditional training camp, no preseason, all these things stacking up against them where they need to start getting reps. This is really a rep season, There's no fans in the stands. It's really kind of and we don't even know if this thing's even going to go 16 games before everything shuts back down. Okay, we don't know that. But what we do know is that the team needs reps. I'm not worried about the win-loss record this season so much. Just kind of a throwaway season. That's what I thought before I even got back to recording. But let's just get it what reps we can with the player personnel we have. Maybe next year get rid of the Juwan James and get the Wilkinson. Try to bring in. You've mentioned names. I've mentioned names. To bring guys that actually make sense in, so that you don't have 7 sacks. And for Lock, to me, he said just recently on a Skype call like this, he said, "Hey, look, I'm not going to reinvent who I am. I'm going to try to make a play, and that's how these quarterbacks are. You may want to try to get him to know when to throw the ball away." That last play, he was, he just didn't have a chance because Wilkinson just let that guy come in. It was like that. he had to get away, and there was already another leak in the offensive line, and that's how they got him. He didn't even really have a chance to get rid of the ball. I mean, really.
Yeah, like you said with Wilkinson and all that, and with Locke, I think one of the issues that he has is he tries to make stuff that isn't there happen, and that's just because he's a gunslinger, and that's what he was built to do in Missouri. He just made plays. And like you said with Drew Lock, and I'm so happy that we got rid of that guy Paxton Lynch, because you can see the difference. They're the same type of quarterback in the way they play. Got a strong arm. He's mobile, all that stuff. But the difference between Drew Lock and Paxton Lynch, up here, the head.
They like him too in the locker room. They like him in the locker room.
Yeah. The players love him, and you saw that at the end of the year. The players love playing for Locke, and that is a franchise quarterback. You raise all ships. You raise all ships around you, and that's what he does, and that's what I love about Locke. And I've watched him all his years when he was in Missouri and all that, and I'm just sick of the hypocrisy of people saying that we got to go after Lawrence and all these guys, because that's just sports talk radio for you.
No, yeah, it's illogical. And I'm coming from a guy who didn't want Locke, and I'm saying, look, I saw enough that we got to get some stability here. This guy, we got to give him a chance. He's good enough. We need to actually get. How will anybody that comes to the Denver Broncos even believe in this franchise if they just keep getting rid of people left and right?
Yeah.
And if Lawrence didn't work out, they'd throw him under the bus too.
Yeah.
And it just would never end.
Yeah, and like you've said so many times, and I just want to bring this up real quick. With the whole defense, and this is going to be a quick point, and we can go back to the original point. But I heard this all off season about how this defensive line is going to be a whole lot better than it was last year. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen so much of a difference. You traded a 7th round pick for a 5-time Pro Bowler who was hurt a lot last year. Oh, what a shocker! But I haven't seen any pass rush up the middle since Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe occasionally in 2015. I just don't know why they're so hell bent on not fixing that issue. They don't fix offensive line, and they don't fix the defensive line. They don't fix the linebackers. Mark Barron, are you kidding?
Oh God,
he's on injury reserve. What
already?
Do you think? Another John Elway. Another John Elway.
Elway as usual. Oh, it's called Elway as usual.
Yeah, I don't get that. And what is your analysis on that? Because people keep saying, oh, this pass rush is going to be better this year. I get it. Von Miller's injured, and Bradley Chubb. I don't think he's 100%, but defense.
I was addressing that before I logged off for the season.
Okay.
I was saying that we weren't getting we need to dress stuff in free agency. Okay, that's where the rubber really meets the road. Right, also what has to happen is the offense has to catch up to help the defense out, And that, again, comes to giving this team reps. Shurmur has the right quarterback for the system, I think. He shows Locke shows a certain amount of intelligence.
Yeah.
That really is what made me more of a Locke fan than a hater or somebody who didn't want him on. So, again, I'm trying to give the guy a chance from a point of view I didn't want him in the first place.
Yep. And I agree with you 100%. Yep, I agree with you 100% with the Drew Lock thing. Like you said, I believe in Lock. I've been a believer in Lock even before we picked him up, and I wanted Denver to pick him up. I just think he has all the tools and intangibles to be a really good quarterback in this league. Like you said, he has the mindset, the swagger. He's not.
Well, we should at least give him a chance.
Yeah. And I like you said a long time ago. That they're just gonna throw people under the bus, and I don't want Drew Lock to be that next person. I really don't, because I believe in Drew Lock. So
just taking a look at Case Keenum. I didn't have anything against. Well, I had nothing against Case Keenum, but if you're going to bring a guy in, you got to have a system. You got to have a system he works in place. Well, you got that now with Shurmur, right?
Yep.
Chad Brown brought something up, and I brought this up before. It was just yesterday. Of all people, Chad Brown. Excuse me. Cough button. he was saying that successful organizations, I've said this too, they keep the system around. Then you take it to the scouting department. The scouting department brings in the player personnel needed to. That's why the Patriots now Kansas City, and who was he who's talking about the Steelers? This came up with the Steelers. They've had these systems in place for around a while, and they go out and they find players that other teams wouldn't pick up and maybe necessarily shouldn't. But these players fit their scheme, and this is why they have, they're constantly successful. Maybe this is something too by not firing Vic Fangio. And I'll tell you, if I could fire anybody, it'd be Elway. You mentioned there was a GM that went to San Francisco. Could you have that with Fangio, with Shurmur? Maybe then we could get player personnel. But Chad Brown's point is that, you start developing players based off your system, and you have a situation like this. Well, Kansas City's, they've been involved in their system for a while. Reed didn't come in and go to the playoff his first couple of years or whatever. This took a while, and it's just the panic button with that sports media out there. People just can't get brainwashed. They have to deprogram themselves from that.
And like you said millions of times, I love the Jerry G selection because he fits Pat Shurmur's offense, and he's a great route runner, and he gets open quickly. I'm tired of people wanting fast receivers like Henry Ruggs. Jerry Jeudy is a route runner. That's how you get open in the NFL, and that's going to help Drew Lock in his development. That's why Courtland Sutton is a beast, and Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy together are going to help Drew Lock in this process. And I believe in KJ Hamler as well. He just has to stay healthy.
Well, that's really what contributed to Brady's success.
Yep.
There's that system where they're out. Those receivers that are got, nobody would have picked those receivers, but they're good route runners, and they catch the ball is because Belichick had been in Bill Walsh's system, and Jerry Rice wasn't a track star, but the guy wasn't a phenomenal route runner.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And that's. Oh, go ahead.
He's a player that would relentlessly practice and practice and practice and practice. Yeah. And those are the type of people you got to look for.
Yeah, and why do you think Tyreek Hill's so good? It's not because of his speed. Well, it is, but he's a great route runner. I watched the tape. Tyreek Hill's a great route runner.
Yes, he's a special type of a receiver. He's got it, in my opinion. He's got it both. He's got both the speed and the route running down. Yeah. That's very rare. Yeah. And and I don't take anything away from Mahomes being a good quarterback or any. It's just like a carpenter. I've explained this so many times. You can sit there and yell at a carpenter because he made this shack that was, look at that. It's all tacky and it's the shingles are hanging down, the roof's go. Well, he didn't have any hammers. He had to do it with a rock, and but they'll now give him the electric drill and the saw and everything. Can you imagine it? He just built this great place. Well, it's just like I'm saying, like, when you take all those tools and weapons away from Mahomes, say you put Mahomes on the Washington Redskins, if you can call them that. I don't know if you call them that now. But, I mean, you put him on a team that doesn't have the tools. Is he going to be the same Patrick Mahomes? No, he's still a good quarterback, but he's not going to have that success around him.
Yeah, and like you said, it's all about what you surround your quarterback with. And there's only a few quarterbacks in NFL history who can work without talent. And I'm not going to name who the
staff too. You have to surround by coaches.
Yep, a coaching staff that knows what they're doing, and I believe Vick Fangio knows what he's doing.
I do too.
I believe that he is the right coach for this team because he is very, what's the word? He's very strict, and he holds his players accountable.
Yes.
And with Vance Joseph, we didn't have that with other
Well, and offensive coordinators too coming in and out. Yeah.
And you can't, and I'm sick and tired of people also saying that we need to continue to get a new offense coordinator every year. We've done that already, and look what happened. We had Bill
doing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. Drew Lock needs to have. This is his what? He had like Drew Lock. Drew Lock had a lot of turnaround in Missouri. He in the time that he was in Missouri, he had 3 offensive coordinators in the time that he was in Missouri. You can't do that to a quarterback. And this is his second coordinator in the 2 years he's been in Denver.
Yeah, yes.
You can't do that. You have to stick with Pat Shurmur. I love what Pat Shurmur's doing. What Jeff Driscoll did, I contribute that to what Pat
bringing
Shurmur
him
was
in,
doing.
period. Driscoll.
Yes, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like Pat Shurmur knows what Drew Lock's strengths are because he wanted Drew Lock in the draft. He didn't want Daniel Jones, but that's a different story for another day.
He did not. Yes, that's right.
And
yeah, he didn't.
He knows what Jeff Driscoll wanted. He knows what Jeff Driscoll can do and not can do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, don't give up on Pat Shurmur, guys. Pat Shurmur knows what he's doing. He's a great offensive mind. He's not a great head coach. Wade Phillips wasn't a great head coach. He's a great defense coordinator. There's a difference.
Yes,
so I'm saying,
yes.
stick with Pat Shurmur. Stick with this coaching staff. Don't give up on this coaching staff. Don't listen to sports talk radio because they're just going to sell you a bill of goods.
Yeah.
I had to learn.
I had to learn. Dietrich to something else.
Yes, exactly. And we're not, I respect what you're doing. I respect what you're doing, not because, you're different than all the other people. You know what you're talking about, and you're speaking the truth. And that's what I miss about Bronco talk and all that. I miss people just holding people accountable and just being like, hey, Elway, stop going after these injury-prone free agent players. There's a reason why they're free agents.
Exactly. Yeah, just to stop down for a second, I'm just trying to figure out who's going to be on this video because I don't know. I've never done this before.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know if I'm going to be on it. I don't record, so however it works out, that I'll put it on. But I'm sorry, I'm listening to you. I was just trying to think like, God, who's going to be on this thing? Anyway, I guess I'll figure it out as I go. But talking about this channel, and it just goes all the way back to I think it's 2005. Was it at the AFC Championship with Plummer
Steelers.
and Steelers? This was 2005, right?
Yep.
If I remember right. See, everybody disagreed with me, and I got so upset after that. I said Shanahan has to get fired. And we were talking about, are you a great offensive coordinator or a great head coach? So, I was leading the police pat bull and get rid of Shanahan. So that's why, I've been against the mainstream for a long time, and, but, like when they got Elway, I was like, oh, this could either be good or bad, because if he starts stinking up the joint, nobody will want to get rid of him. It'll be like Al Davis all over again.
Yep.
And John Elway has become everything he hated, Al Davis. But Al Davis at least was a maverick as an owner before he ended up really becoming poison,
Yeah.
But with Elway, he's got so many asterisks. He talked to Peyton Manning, but it was really Bolin.
Yep.
Thank you. Sealed that deal. It wasn't Elway. I could get into the whole Shanahan thing, but it's just way too off topic.
Yeah, that's
too far down the road.
Yeah.
But it's the same kind of thing. It's like we gave you a chance, but who has the authority?
Joe Ellis, but no, he's not going to pull that trigger.
No, he's not. No, well, I'm not even sure if Elway could if they could fire each other too. It's weird. But I think the way it's going to play out, whether sports radio likes it or not, is that Elway is going to keep everything in place until his contract is up. That just seems the logical. If I'm going to see this logically, let sports talk say they're crap, but Elway will just, and that's unfortunate too, because I think you're right. Shurmur, Locke, Fangio, they all have, and all the players, they all have Elway's. It's like an albatross around their neck.
Yeah.
The meddling owner, if you know what I mean. So, but hopefully, I did get upset with Locke of the preseason game because he tried that holy roller, but overall, if he can get into the rhythm and the players can get into the rhythm, of course, Elway should have been taking care of that offensive line long ago, like going back to the Peyton Manning years.
Yep.
It was just one ridiculous move after another with it.
And that's what I'm saying, like with the whole gonna go off topic here, and but Adam Peters, it was before Elway came, and Adam Peters was the GM. He helps John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. Adam Peters was the one who drafted Von Miller. It wasn't John Elway. John Elway wasn't the GM that drafted Von Miller. That was Adam Peters.
And
Adam
a lot
Peters,
of people don't know that.
yeah, Adam Peters has an eye for talent. Why do you think San Francisco has a pretty good offensive line? That's because Adam Peters knows talent, and he knows you build things from the ground up. And I think Elway understands that, but I just think he's just too much in his ways that he just and I don't understand that. Like, Pat Bowlen went out and got Gary Zimmerman to help him. And Gary Zimmerman is one of the best Broncos, I believe, in Broncos history. I wasn't alive for that, but from the stories I was told, Gary Zimmerman, Elway had a great offensive line in front of him the last 2 years he was in the league. He knows that offensive lines can dictate a lot of success on NFL teams, in my opinion.
Of course they do. Look at the Patriots.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're goes back to Bledsoe, the Bledsoe Brady era. Is that and he's at their offensive coordinator, or I'm sorry, not offensive lineman coach from that era is on the not Baltimore. I'm sorry, the Indianapolis Colts, and he's legendary. And they've kind of taken that, again, sticking with tradition, like, say, keeping Alex Gibbs or something like that and bringing him on through. Yes. You got to have those offensive lines. And I'm not sure that the Tampa Bay, hang on a second,
You're good.
The only downfall coming out here. Tampa Bay doesn't have, I don't think the offensive line that'll never, and just going to, there's a caveat, the Broncos play Tampa Bay, and I look at, Brady going is akin to Montana going to Kansas City. It won't be a complete failure, maybe an epic failure, but it's not going to be like the glory days for him.
Yes.
I think that
he had that great offensive line.
Used to be for him.
Yep, he had that great offensive line in front of him, and Belichick knew what he was doing with Brady. And people don't get that. I contribute a lot of Brady's success to Belichick. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I got in an
argument
with my own boss about that.
Yeah,
I said, who won the lottery? I said, you're saying Brady won the lottery? I said, where would Brady have gone if he hadn't got drafted by Belichick?
Exactly.
He would have been a walk-on. And he would have been a footnote and only. And, you wonder how many of these guys slip through the cracks over, centuries. Yes. Now, just really quick, if you want to go talk about going way back, I was, upset when the Broncos got rid of John Ralston, because Ralston was a really good eye for talent, too. But the players wanted to get rid of him because he didn't want them acting like the Raiders. He didn't want them doing cheap shots and stuff like that. He says, you're going to win.
The Raiders,
yeah, and they got rid of him. And the reason I found out about all this was going down memory lane here, talk about before you were born, but the coach for Dallas, Landry, his autobiography, the players were saying that they knew they were going to beat the Broncos because the Broncos were out partying right before that all night long, and that's why I refer to Red Miller as Red Drunken Miller. Red Drunken Miller, because they got rid, and they lamented, and all the Broncos players of that time, Tom Jackson, all of them lamented that they wish they never had gotten rid of Ralston. Had Ralston taken it was Miller who took Ralston's team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But they felt strongly had Ralston took them to the Super Bowl, they would have kept them focused for that Dallas game, and it would have been a different game. So I don't know whether or not we did won, but we definitely wouldn't have, all been at the game with hangovers.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, people don't think about all these little intangibles we're talking about.
They don't. I think a lot of people don't understand how important stability in an organization is. And when you have stability in an organization, and I hate to say it, look at Kansas City. They have stability. Look at the Ravens. They have stability. Look at the Patriots. They have stability. Look at Steelers. Look at all these teams that are playing really good football right now and have played very good football over the years.
Now Seattle.
Exactly. They have stability. They have stuck with the system because they know it works.
Yeah.
Guys, you can't give up on this offense. You can't give up on these coaches. I know it's rough right now because with all the injuries and all that, a lot of it you have to contribute to what to what Elway has helped with these coaches. People need to understand that John Elway's the one buying the groceries here. The coaches are the ones that are coaching them up. It's not the coaches buying the groceries. It's the guy up top. And people need to start holding Elway accountable. Just because he has done so much for the Broncos, you can't hold on to that. You have to look what he's done.
You take what he's been doing lately with the team that's as a general manager / owner / whatever he's trying to call himself. Yeah.
And I don't think people understand. There was a lot of friction between Peyton and Elway the last couple of years he was in Denver. A lot of people don't recognize that. A lot of people don't get that and Peyton Manning had a lot to do with those free agents coming to Denver because they wanted to play for Peyton. It wasn't Elway.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah.
So,
that would scare. It still would scare me too. And this is way off topic too, but making Peyton Manning some sort of a GM. I don't. That one is scary too. You don't know how that one would go either.
Well, I just think bringing Peyton through the system first. I wouldn't say putting him in at the GM role, but helping him. He has a great mind for football anyway. But I'm just saying bringing him up through the system, and then when he's ready for that, he's comfortable and he's ready to go and hit the ground running. Because I don't want to bring in off topic. I just don't want to bring in somebody who's unproven. I want to bring somebody who's just proven at their job and has stability at their job and is consistent in what they're doing. And people got to understand, like I've said, you got to hold Elway accountable. People love Elway. I get it. I understand that. But these last 5 years since Peyton's left have shown how much he's gotten away with. How much he's gotten away with here. Not fixing the offensive line, you said. Getting rid of Malik Jackson and keeping Derek Wolfe. Getting rid of Tammy Trevathan. Keeping Brandon Marshall. Those little things add up. And Aqib Talib said it, and you said it in your last video.
Yes. You got rid of the dogs.
Getting rid of the dogs. Always getting rid of the dogs. He got rid of TJ Ward. He got rid of the Cam Chancellor of the no-fly zone. And you got to be kidding me.
Then you dissed Chris Harris in his prime.
Oh, I know, really.
It just doesn't stop.
Now look, he's playing at the Las Vegas Los Angeles Chargers. It's just the hypocrisy of this. People just love Elway. I get it. I love Elway too. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever played.
As a quarterback.
Yeah. As a quarterback, but as a GM, I give him credit in some things. I like you said, I think he's realizing the things that he did in the past, going after athletes, is not going to work. Go after leaders of the team and go after guys who know football. I think he's turning that around. People like to overreact to the 2018 draft with Royce Freeman, all these guys.
Yes.
You got to be kidding me.
It was a total overreaction.
Exactly. And Bradley Chubb, I still believe in Bradley Chubb. I think Bradley Chubb can be a really good player. He just has to stay healthy.
Well, you still need maybe even a year to get over your torn ACL.
Exactly.
And that could be, with Cortland Sutton, could be in that boat too.
Yeah, it's just Elway when Peyton Manning was here, Elway's drafts were so bad, and they have shown with special teams is very critical, and I am very when I was playing football, special teams was very critical to a lot of the success that we had because of ball placement and all that. And I get it. We have Brandon McManus. We finally have a punter in Sam Martin. If he can catch the ball and punt, but that's a different story. But I'm saying
there's always somebody. Yeah, as long as he's not making a habit of it.
Exactly. And it is shown we don't have any depth on this team. We don't have any depth. That's why you went and got Mark Barron, and he's on injured reserve. He's an injured
I wanted
player.
Corey Littleton.
He can't cover. Todd Davis couldn't cover. He's a great run stuffer, but he couldn't cover.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I really wanted Corey Littleton. I really pounded the table.
Exactly. I was that or Joel Schobert from the Browns.
That beats the guy they got now.
Alexander Johnson, Josie Jewell.
Well, him too. Mr. As he's getting dragged.
It's just Elway likes holding on to these players that are just your eyes can tell you everything. You can watch as much tape as you want, but if you're gonna watch a live football game and you saw that, and like you said on was it 2 videos ago, I was listening to sports talk radio and they said, oh well, the run set up the pass, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there like. Against the Steelers, I'm just like, are you kidding me? The pass set up the run. The pass set up the run.
Yes. Shurmur recognized that.
And that's why I love Shurmur. Yes. That's why I love Shurmur. That's why I didn't like Rich Scangarillo. Shurmur knows what to do against these defenses. Yes. He knows what to do.
Yes. What's his face? That running back makes that block.
Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon makes that block on that 4th and 2.
That would have been a first down.
That's an automatic first down. You saw Tim Patrick running right in front of him. Well, he couldn't do that.
Have time.
It's just like, you know what would happen if they would have run that ball on 3rd and 2, or 4th and whatever. We'll say 4th and 2.
Got it.
They would have ran the ball either way and got stuck. Say twice even. All you would have heard was they should have threw the ball. They should have threw the ball. They should have threw the ball.
Just like they want to fire Fangio with not using those timeouts. I get that was stupid, but really, you're going to fire a coach after 1 game with not using timeouts late in a game? And that Derrick Henry is starting to get on a roll. Our defense was gashed. Our defense was already tuckered out because Derrick Henry is a one in a generation. I love Derrick Henry.
Well, we've already said that they haven't got the player personnel on defense like they should have, and that wasn't Fangio for the last how many years? All that stuff we were talking about, getting rid of the dogs, that wasn't on Fangio.
No,
right?
and this is one thing I'm going to say about that. When Fangio came in, he was interviewed by somebody, I don't remember who it was, but it was during the offseason when he got hired, and he said why that 2018 the Chicago Bears defense was so good. And past tense about that. Before Fangio got there, the GM was getting free agents off the street, patchworking that defense. Fangio had a lot to say. He got Roquan Smith. That was Fangio's call. And look out, Roquan Smith and all that. He got these players through the draft. He got Eddie Jackson and all that. And then when Vick Fangio came here, he said the exact same thing. Elway is. He didn't call Elway out, but he said they're kind of the same because we keep getting these guys off the street that can't play. You're going to put Band-Aids, rip the Band-Aid off, draft good talent on the defensive side of the football. Stop trading 7th-round picks for Jarrell Casey, who's past his prime. And
yes.
I'm sick and tired of that. Like, there's no pass rush up the middle. I don't know what people are seeing that is so different from last year.
Yes, where's Casey? You guys all said that, he
was going to be the next Malik Jackson. Where is he?
Yes.
And Shelby Harris, thank goodness he's on a 1-year deal because all he can do is freaking bat balls down. He can't pass rush.
No.
Mike Purcell's just I like Mike Purcell. He's a good run stuffer, but that's it. And our linebackers stink. I wanted Corey Littleton too. I agreed with you. That's why I started coming to this channel, because me and you have the same mind of what this team needs.
Yeah.
And how this team needs to get back on track, because the Denver Broncos are one of the most. They're one of the flagship. They were one of the flagship franchises in the NFL when Bolin was running this.
Yeah.
People have. I don't think people give Bolin enough credit for what he did.
No.
They don't. No. They don't give him the credit for Peyton. They don't give him the credit for firing Josh McDaniels like that. The hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy.
Well, let's go into this conversation is ownership.
Okay.
I don't know if Brittany Bolin is going to be the answer.
No.
Okay. I can't say either way. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to be the answer. I don't know. I'm not hedging my bet that she's Pat Bolin or Lamar Hunt.
Yeah.
all these, or even Al Davis back in when he started back in the old days, LaMonica and all that,
Mm-hmm.
all these, Rooney, is she going to be in that category, but on the other hand, is she going to be a Snyder too? I don't know. And then there's the families feuding, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I think Bolin did drop the ball on is, my first wife and everything, and I might say, like, these, and obviously you don't want the drunk to become the owner. That Bolin, whoever,
The son.
yeah. So there's that.
It, the reason I don't want Brittany, because I just haven't even. I know she's a part of the organization right now, and I know she's brand new and all that. But how much do you think she really is a part of that organization?
Exactly.
And I question that a lot.
Well, she's so
I think she's just a face.
Yeah, she hasn't. Now she was 40, and been with Pat Bolin for like 20 of those years. With the team, then I'd feel a lot better.
Yeah.
But she's like, I came out of marketing, came out of branding.
So you're going to become the Ford family then that runs the Detroit Lions? Like that's basically what you're going to do. The Ford family, she's going to be the one of the Ford, nothing against women, but I'm just saying, like, I want somebody who holds people accountable. That's what I loved about Bolin. He said 16-0 or bust. Super Bowl or bust. He did it every year. Every year he came out on radio. He said, my expectation is to win the Super Bowl. Nothing else, that's a bust. That's what you need to do as an owner. You need to hold your people accountable.
Yes. Even if it's Shanahan or something like that.
Exactly.
Jay Cutler got into it. Now, this is the story that is by whole Jay Cutler. That's another thing I got into is Jay Cutler, Bolin fires Shanahan. Jay Cutler immediately went to Bolin and said, I want player personnel. I want all this stuff. He said, buddy, you're a quarterback. You ain't the GM. You're not, He went out shopping. This is before McDaniels, all that. He went out shopping, So Bolin was always, a no BS kind of guy that wanted to win, but he knew what the keys of success were. And I'm not sure that you're going to get that with Brittany.
Yeah, and you can see the team's success right now. It's a direct reflection on what happens when you don't have an owner that knows what he's doing, and you're not holding John Elway accountable, Joe Ellis accountable. And I think Joe Ellis was only here to get a name on the stadium. That's my opinion. And
taxpayers.
Yes, he did that, but it's just like, okay.
Well, he did, or he did.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like questioning. Did he really? Like, it's just there's so much turmoil in that organization that people don't realize, and I don't. My fear is that, and I believe you give a coach 3 years, and that's what I live by, and
make an evaluation.
Exactly.
Make an evaluation.
And my fear is that the people that get paid to talk about sports, and the fans that are watching them on a daily basis that are getting brainwashed, and I get it, but my fear is that they're going to get rid of Fangio because he's not an offensive mind. Okay, that's why you brought in Pat Shurmur, who's been in the league for a very long time. But I just feel like they're going to try and run these guys out of town. That's basically what I'm going to say. I get sick of the hypocrisy, and that's why, like, I love what you're doing. I'm going to continue to say this because you are doing what we need. We need change, and people are not going to say it. They're going to be like, "Oh, we want to change the coach and all that." Look at the Detroit Lions. They've been changing coaches for years. Look at the Browns. They've been changing coaches for years. Look at the on-field success. Nothing has changed because it comes from the top down.
You know what Shelby Harris said? He said, and you remember I did videos on, we need a cultural change. It was Shelby Harris who came out and said what I was saying last year.
Yep.
We need a cultural change.
Exactly. It's the players are a lot smarter than we think they are. They know
Well, they're the
what's going
pawns
on.
they're the pawns in the game. So they're not
Exactly.
leadership.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, and like, I'm going to continue to go back to Locke. Like, what sold me on Locke, and a lot of people, his on field, the last 5 games of last year, I that's the Locke I knew from Missouri. He has that strong arm. He's a gunslinger. That mentality of, through that interception against the Texans, didn't phase him. Still had a really good game, and then you face these lesser competent, defenses struggled because they were starting to figure him out a little bit, but still held on. But at the end of the year, he did an interview with Broncos TV, and he said, I'm gonna go on the off season. I'm gonna stay in Denver. I'm gonna go talk to Peyton. I'm gonna talk to Elway. I'm gonna talk to these legendary quarterbacks and give me advice on what to do. And Peyton Manning came on 104.3 The Fan and said that, yeah, we had like an hour conversation. That right there shows that he's committed to what he's doing. He's not on Xbox playing Fortnite.
I definitely think he's committed to what he's doing. Not like, Cutler, like, I got an arm.
Exactly. Not like Paxton Lynch wanting to play Xbox every time he's done with practice. Like, stuff like that. It's
instead of I got to show my daughter and explain, here's what happens when you F off, Yeah.
Yeah. So, like
you end up on the sideline crying.
Yeah, for having a, spraining, having a hurt ankle.
Oh, no, I'll tell you what he was crying about. I knew exactly what he was crying about.
He lost his job.
Yeah, he lost his job. He knew then that was it. He was finished.
Yep.
That's where the fear came from.
Exactly. So
who brought it on themselves, to a degree. And I will make an excuse up for a little bit for him. Like you said, oh, here's your next coordinator. Here's your next coordinator. Here,
Yeah.
So like, whatever, I'm going to play my Xbox,
Exactly.
I would have had more respect for him if he said, I'm playing Xbox because they don't give a damn about what it is I'm learning. They're giving me all these different offenses. They don't care about the organization. They don't care about me. They're going to end up getting rid of me anyway. But,
and
it's all involved.
I see all these people, in the off season, before COVID hit and all that stuff hit. And they're talking about, oh, we need to bring in Brady and we need to do that. I'm like, you really think Brady's going to come here? Maybe 6-7 years ago he would have came here, but you really think he's going to come here now with the organization?
He would not. No, he's not.
He's not going to. Peyton Manning wouldn't even come here.
No, and what?
He would never.
Why? Yeah, he's not going to pick a team that's a worst offensive line.
Exactly. Like I like Dalton Reisner, Lloyd Cushenberry, Grant Glasgow. I like those 3 interior offensive linemen, but Garrett Bowles, stop making excuses for him. Stop saying he had a great game against Pittsburgh, against Tennessee. He still did what he did best. He had a holding call. That's still.
Well, it's not even. I'm not even holding that. I've stopped blaming Garrett Bowles. You know why? Because he shouldn't have been here to begin with. He didn't hire himself.
I know. That's what Elway does. He likes holding on to these players that are just so bad. And I go, I have, Apple Podcasts, and I have these, other Bronco things that I listen to. And, I got rid of them because they kept saying, oh, look at the tape, Garrett Bowles is improving. I'm like, he's facing lesser competition in those games, by the way. And a lot of it, I love Mike Munchak. I think Mike Munchak's a heck of an offensive line coach.
Yeah, but he's another guy. Elway is an albatross.
Exactly. That's what I was going to go to. Elway's not helping him out whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's
just want to pull your hair out.
Exactly. That's what I want to do. I get it. And I tell everybody this. I'm like, well, why do they keep losing these close games? Like, because losing teams find ways to lose. Yeah. Losing teams find ways to lose. It's the truth. I believe this thing's going down the right path because you have a good quarterback. You have a good head coach. You have a good offensive
despite Elway. If this is all despite Elway. We actually, so maybe Elway has learned some lessons, and it's almost like, look, I've already, I've lobbied to get rid of him a long time ago. It's already in the 11th hour. He's got 2 years left. Let's just I know he probably won't bring in the people we need, but let's see if with what the groceries you say we got to work with, we can make some kind of meal with this, so that if Elway goes, I wouldn't mind seeing if we can keep the coaching staff, bringing in some actual GM leadership or something. I don't know. Or ownership, or just hopefully he goes right out in the sense that saying, look, I got you set up. Now it's somebody else's turn.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% in that. And, like another thing about Fangio, and this is going to tell the story about why Elway and Fangio were on two different minds here. Fangio didn't want Callahan. Just because Callahan played for Fangio, Fangio didn't want him. Fangio knew he was injury prone. That was an Elway move. That was not a Fangio move. And I know that because I get it. Bryce Callahan is a good slot corner. I don't know why they have him out in the boundary. I get it because they have nobody else because Boye got hurt. What a shocker. Boye got hurt too. Anyway, but it's just in the Juwan James, I knew that was going to be a train wreck. And I know Fangio does not like Juwan James. It's so obvious when he talks about Juwan James. That was an Elway move. That was a clear Elway move right there.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
The albatross around the neck. Hey, I got 8% left on the battery out here. Okay. We'll go wrap it up, and I'll post this thing. It'll be fun. I'll have to do this some more. I don't know enough about Tampa Bay to get into that. Maybe we can on Saturday. I got to research it a little bit.
Yeah. Saturday. Yeah, I would love to continue to do this with you. Whenever you feel like, I know it's your channel, but I would love to.
It's a channel of the people. It was just for me to place my thoughts on a rant.
Yeah, and I'm always available, and I'm always a text message away. And I just wanted to say thank you to you for what you're doing again. And I just want to say,
I appreciate that. I didn't know I was doing anything except making everybody mad because it was stuff they didn't want to hear.
Oh, I think I'm going to make a few people mad because I love calling us. Like, I'm going to tell you this real quick. I tried calling into Sports Talk Radio on Sunday, and
well, they didn't want you on there.
Yeah, they basically cut me off. They basically hung.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. You're wearing your orange and blue color glasses.
Orange color glasses?
Yep. I'm just like, nice. So
I got the old guy with the orange color glasses. Got all the Bronco fans mad at him. That's so.
Oh my gosh. Well. Oh.
All right. I guess we'll end it here. I don't even know how to end it. This is the first time I've even done this, so I'll go and try to figure out where this recorded to, and I'll just post it as is. So.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Take care.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Yeah, talk about maybe Tampa tomorrow or something.
Yep.
Got to do a little homework.
Yep.
Brady's on that team, right?
What?
Brady's on that team, right?
Yeah, what a shocker.
Okay, see, I'm an expert now. All right. See ya.
See you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.